Hi, my name is Steve Mulberry and I'm with GISinc. And in today's short video, I want to introduce you to a new solution just released by Esri called the Coronavirus Response Solution. And I'd like to help walk you through how to wire up some of the applications and dashboards that are within this solution. To access this new solution, go to the ArcGIS Solutions for Local Government page, and you can either search for Coronavirus Response or scroll through until you find it there. But this new solution is a collection of applications, maps, and feature layers that help organizations and public health agencies to better understand the impact that this virus is having on their community. And allows them to take the data, that authoritative information that they're collecting on a regular basis, and share that out to the community and to the organizations through a series of applications in a really nice dashboard. So what's included with the solution? You get a series of applications. Community Impact Dashboard is what you see there on the right. You get a case reporter, which is a survey that allows you to collect information, case information that populates that dashboard. And then you get a series of other applications. And for the sake of this recording, we're going to focus on the Community Impact Dashboard and that case reporter, that survey form that you see there on the right. Now, in order to get up and running, there are a few requirements. You need to have ArcGIS Pro, either version 2.3 or higher, and that could be either at the basic, standard, or advanced version, access to ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise, and then the applications that you'll leverage, right, these templates that you'll leverage will be found in either the Crowdsource Manager, one of the web app builder applications that's created for you, Survey 123 for sure, that case reporter will use that, and then the operations dashboard. So to get started, we're going to walk through 4 steps. We're going to download and install the deployment toolkit for ArcGIS Pro. It's an add-in, and if you don't have that, don't worry, we'll walk through that. But if you already have that, you can skip this section. Then we're going to deploy the new coronavirus response solution using the deployment method as part of that add-in. We're going to configure the solution. We're going to load some data, and then we're going to test it out. We're going to open up the survey. We're going to put in some sample case data, and then we're going to validate that the dashboard is working. Okay, so step 1 is to download and install the add-in. So you can see I am at the solutions.arcgis.com webpage, focused here on the coronavirus response solution, and I'm going to go to the Get Started tab, and this Get Started tab is going to walk me through those steps. And the first step is to install that add-in. So we'll click on the add-in link, and one of the first steps here to install the solutions development add-in, deployment add-in, is to download the zip. Now, some of you may have already done this for past projects and exercises, so you can skip this process if you've already done it. But for those that haven't, it's going to ask you to log in to your ArcGIS Online account, do so, and then you'll be taken to the download page for the solution deployment toolkit, and just click on the zip file and save that to a folder. I'm going to put it into my downloads folder. Okay, once it's downloaded, I'm going to go into my downloads folder, and I'm just going to extract that right here to this folder. And then once it's extracted, I'm just going to double click on that to install it. So just double click and just follow the steps here. We're going to, you can review the information, but we're just going to say install add-in and let it go do its thing. You'll get this window will probably pop up here. This is the add-in installation utility. Installation has succeeded. Just hit OK, and now the add-in is ready to go. Okay, so the next step, once we have the add-in installed, is to deploy the solution. And so that is done through ArcGIS Pro. So here I started ArcGIS Pro, and you can start up an existing project. You can create a new project, or in my case, I'm just going to start without a template because I'm just going to deploy the solution first, and then we'll configure and load data later. And so the first thing we want to do is, one, make sure that under the Share toolbar, we have the ArcGIS Solutions Deploy toolkit here. And I can activate that. And the first step is to make sure we're signed in to ArcGIS Online organization. And so if I double click that, it's going to give me instructions and let me know if I'm not signed in. And you can tell if you're signed in or not by up here in the upper right hand corner saying that yes, I am logged in into, in this case, to ArcGIS Online. Hit the finish button, because the next step then is to deploy an ArcGIS solution. And when you double click that task, it's going to give you a list of all these solutions available to you. You can search for the coronavirus resources, or you can actually go through and just click on local government and then scroll down to the coronavirus response solution, and then highlight that. And in my case, I'm going to put this in a specific folder inside of my organization. So I'm going to type in coronavirus and make sure that goes into that folder once I hit deploy. So I've logged in, I found the solution that I want to install and deploy, and I've typed in a new folder for this solution to be deployed to, and now I hit deploy. Now this will take several minutes, so just kind of watch the status. And if you want, you can log into ArcGIS Online and kind of see these templates and solutions as they get deployed. So after a few minutes, the deployment process will finish, and you'll know it's done by the checkbox next to the solution that we just deployed. And to validate that everything worked, I'm going to go to the browser. I'm going to log in to that account. We can see that the folder coronavirus was created for me, and if I click in there, it'll show me all the content, the web mapping applications, the dashboards, the web maps, the feature layers were all created for me. And in this case, there's 2 pages worth of content that were created that's going to help support each one of those applications. So make sure you get to this point before you continue. Okay, now that I've completed the deployment of that solution, the next 2 steps that I'm going to go through is to configure the solution and then load and update some information. Now, if we go back to the website, this community impact dashboard is the first thing that I want to configure. And in order to get the information to support that, I need a boundary file and I need a Survey 123 application up and running to help populate the information. And the workflows that I'm going to use to work through this process are found under the Workflows tab. If you go to the Tabulate Coronavirus Cases, it'll walk you through that step, but I'm going to do it with you right here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to establish my boundary file. So here I'm inside of ArcGIS Pro still. I'm going to load a new map, and I'm going to show you the data that I'm going to work with. I am going to upload a single boundary file, and you can use multiple ones, but I'm going to go out and add data. And I have in my downloads folder, I have a file geodatabase of Ada County, just outside of Boise, where I live and work. And I'm going to load that in here so you can see what I'm dealing with. So I've got 1 polygon, but I could have multiple in here. And this could be state boundaries, county boundaries, city boundaries, different geographies. But what's most important is the name field. The rest of this stuff gets dropped when you upload it. So all I'm interested in is the name field. You don't have to worry about cleaning this up because it'll do it for me automatically. As long as I have a name field, I'm good to go. So I've got that file ready, and I got that file geodatabase, and I've already zipped it up. So the next thing I'm going to do is log in to ArcGIS Online, make sure I'm at my coronavirus folder, and I'm going to go down and find my cases hosted feature layer. So here's my cases hosted feature layer. And in here, you'll see there's 2 pieces of information. There's a polygon feature class, and there's a table feature class. If I look at the data tab here, we'll show you that. And so here is the reporting areas feature class, which is going to hold my boundary, and then all the information supporting that boundary is going to be underneath my cases table. And this is where that information will get populated from that Survey 123 app. So all I need to do then is go to Overview, go to Update Data, Append Data Layer, go out and find my zipped up file geodatabase, Load that in, make sure I choose File GDatabase. I could use a shapefile, so if I have a shapefile, I can do that just as well. It's going to analyze that File GDatabase as it brings it up and make sure I have at least a name field. And I'm going to have to identify the object ID as I'm uploading that, and any other parameters here that I see fit. Now, right now, it's just my first time doing this, so I'm going to just leave the defaults and hit Apply Updates. And so it's going to upload my File GDatabase with that one feature class in there and append that to my existing cases hosted feature layer. And when I'm done, I can go back into the data layer to validate that, yes, now I have one feature class, feature class loaded item there. And if I need to further validate that, let's just open that up in a map viewer, and we'll see that indeed I have one polygon within that feature class, and it's in the Boise area here, and I can identify that, and I can see, yes, I have the name value, and everything else was truncated, so I don't have to worry about that. And you can also see that it loaded in the cases table as well. So now these two are ready to help support the collection of information, my cases information. So now the next step is to configure that Survey123 app with the information. Okay, now that I've uploaded my geography, right, the boundary for the reporting areas, now I need to configure the survey form. And how you do that is you go back to your content folder and find the case reporter form and click on case reporter and get to the items details page. And in here, we're going to edit that form inside of Survey Connect. So you drop the box down to open the Survey123, hit edit in Survey123 Connect. And when it loads, you might get this window here that says, open up with this application. That's fine. Then it's going to open up the Survey Connect for me to allow me to edit and update that form. Now, when it does that, you will see this error, because unless you have already registered your ArcGIS Online domain, you'll get this error. So the way you fix that is just hit OK, hit Settings, go Add Portal, and then type in your URL to your ArcGIS Online organization account and hit Add. And now that it's there, I just hit OK, and I can continue to then update that form. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in with the same user to that organization that I've got all my content on. So I'll log in with that user. And I can see I have the case reporter form there for me to start working with. So I'm going to click on the case reporter form. I'm going to say yes to download that form in order for me to start editing with it. I'm going to hit OK. So now once it's downloaded, just click on it again, and it'll open it up in the editor form. And the next step I want to do is open it up in the XLS form spreadsheet. So I'm going to click that button right there, and Excel opens up with the spreadsheet and the information that I can start to work with. Okay, at this point, I'm going to click on the Choices tab in my spreadsheet. I need to update the items and the name and the label of the geography that I'm recording information for. And since I only have one geography level, I can get rid of these two items, these two list items. And I only have one feature, right, one county boundary in my service. So I'm just going to give that the name of the county name, because this is going to link the feature service to the feature table and link the two things together. So that's the name inside of my database, and then this is what the end user is going to see when they access the survey. So I'm going to put in here Ada County. I've got that together. Now just hit save. We'll close down the spreadsheet. If it doesn't run through this process for converting and loading that, make sure you just click Update Survey Form. We'll do that one more time just to make sure. Once this is done, then we're going to hit the Publish button here, and we're going to publish our changes back up to ArcGIS Online. It'll go through its process here, validating the process, and then give me a confirmation when it's completed. Now that it's done, I can close out Survey Connect, and I can run the survey, gather some information, and test to make sure this process is going to work. So let's do that here. So over here in the right-hand corner, I'm just going to say open the survey with a browser. And it's going to execute the survey and allow me to populate some test data that I'll be able to validate inside the dashboard. So the first question is reporting area. Again, if I had more than one, I could start collecting information for all the different areas and the levels of geography. Here is my Ada County. I'm going to pick today and might as well do the time for now. Then I'm just going to go through here and put the information here just as it says. So I'm looking for the total number tested as of the date I'm reporting this. So as you get information in, you can do this every day. So let's just put some sample data in here. We'll do 30 tested. We'll do, let's just do 8 confirmed. We'll do 5 recovered. We'll do 0 deaths. And then this last active field will get populated automatically based on the active cases, which equals the confirmed minus the recovered plus the deaths. And so with that information filled out, I can hit submit, and that then now validates that my survey is executed correctly. Now, to make sure the data made its way up in there, I'm going to go back to my contents and find my case feature service, feature layer here, and I'm going to open that up and look at the data and make sure that it made its way into the correct fields. So once this loads, I'll go to my data tab, and it should show me my reporting areas. There's my geography that I uploaded earlier, and here's my cases, that related table, and it should show me that new feature that I just placed in there. And this name will correspond to the geography name inside of the reporting areas. So that should get me to the point where now I can start collecting information for all the geographies that I've configured within the platform. Now that I've validated that my survey is populating the feature layers with information, let's go back to my contents folder, and let's open up the dashboard, that community impact dashboard, and I should start to see that information within that dashboard. So I'm going to open up and view that dashboard in a new tab in my browser. And as this loads, we should start to see that information coming in from the feature layer, again, that we populated from the survey. And sure enough, we see the 3 active cases, the confirmed cases, deaths recovered, and then total tested. And behind these elements in the dashboard, we can see a history. So as you start to insert data on a regular basis, you'll have a history tab for daily counts and then what's happening currently. And so you can see each one of these has a history and a current tab. So we validated that the process works. The survey is collecting information, feature layers are being updated, and the dashboard is showing me information. I guess one last thing to note in this dashboard is I can hover over the response area, and I can click and identify the information, and you can see again the information, when was last updated, a nice little pop-up window there. And if you, in your configuration, if you configure multiple geographies or multiple features, response areas, up here in this drop-down list, you have an option to switch between those different geographies or response areas to get information, and the dashboard will update automatically. So a quick review, we installed the add-in, we ran the add-in and deployed the new coronavirus response solution to our ArcGIS Online account. It created a new folder for us. It put all the web maps and the applications and the hosted feature layers in there. We configured the couple solutions with the survey form. We uploaded some data. We used that survey form then to start populating case information, and then the dashboard was able to read that information and show us the data that we are now collected in there. If there's any questions or if you need help deploying this solution, please reach out to us. We'd love to get you up and running and get you started using some of these tools. Thank you.